My name is Rob White and this is my pitch. The introduction for the game is set 50 years into the future. It's an obstacle course game with the basic story of if somebody gets sentenced into prison, they get the option to complete an obstacle course where if they complete the obstacle course they can completely get rid of the sentence, but if you don't you get a life sentence. My game meets the brief is it's set 50 years into the future as well as being rated 12+, which is also in the brief. I've also created everything myself, which is also a key element. For my mind map, I've created 3 branches off to start: gameplay elements, genre, and story. I started off with genre, as obviously needs to be futuristic, but I wanted to go with something different, not the old first-person shooter type of game. So I decided with an obstacle course. And then I went down to the story, and I wanted it to be sort of a punishment game, but not violent. So I went with prison sentence, so that's quite a big punishment. For gameplay elements, I wanted multiple levels, multiple difficulties, and obviously it gets increasingly harder with more jumps and other obstacles. And the types of movement that there are sprinting, running, and jumping. Over here, this is the first sort of mock-up for my first part of level 1, and this is the first run through of what I've made so far. At the start, you're obviously on the starting platform, and you have to make your way up to the first part of level 1. When you get to the top of this bit, there'll be multiple jumps that you have to get through to try and get to the next part. But there's trick platforms that don't have block sliders on, so you fall through. Once you've completed this bit, there are the 5 boards you need to jump on to completely get over the water and get to the sort of checkpoint area. And once you complete that, it's not added in yet to this, but there are going to be platforms going up the wall to get to the top and towards obviously the next part of the thing. For the explanation of the stories, it's set in the year 2070. Every prisoner that's convicted, they get the choice of either completing an obstacle course that is set in the middle of nowhere, so you can't escape whilst you're doing it. If you complete each stage, you get to go through. If you don't, you get a life sentence. In the game, you'll be playing as somebody that's been found guilty of a crime they didn't commit, and you'll be serving a life sentence already, so you've basically got no option but to try, and your goal is to set them free. For my production schedule, I wanted to go with something a bit more simple, so I don't have to spend ages looking at a Gantt chart trying to work out where I am, what I need to do. I'm constantly referring to this to make sure I'm on track and finishing everything that needs to be done. I was a little bit behind, as there have been a few problems with being ill at hospital appointments, but on the next slide there are contingencies in place to help put me back on track. The contingencies I have are for being ill.
What? No.
For being ill, if I was ill, I'd be working at a faster speed and for longer at home, putting in as much effort as possible, but just to keep my work at the standard level it always is. In case of things crashing, I always save my work, especially if I've just finished something important, as I don't have time to redo it. In case of files corrupting, I save things and back them up and then back them up again just to make sure. And if something happens where I can't get into college, I'm fully prepared with everything I need at home to complete the work. In terms of the available hardware, there is plenty of things that we can use to help us create this game, such as the computers provided by the college, which also has all the software we need. We also have the sound recorders, which can be used to help us create Foley sounds for our game. Also for sounds, there are softwares like Audio Tool and Audacity, which we can use. The engine we've decided to go with is Unity, as it is probably the easiest thing to learn for our first game. We also have Photoshop to create loading screens, menu screens, etc., because that's obviously a vital part of your game. There are a few 3D modelling options to choose from, such as 3ds Max and Blender. It's good that we have a variety of options, as it just gives people the option to try something new and get used to it. With the budget, we didn't have to pay anything, but For anyone who's starting their own production, it would cost around £500 to £800 for a good computer to run everything needed. For Unity, it would cost about £25 a month to use, or £125 for Unity Pro. And then for Photoshop, it's £10 a month. So minimum, it would cost about £550 to make your own low-budget game from at home. The target audience for my game is anyone who's over the age of 12 that wants to try something new. It's a 12 because Peggy ratings say that. It's a 12 if there's mild violence, which there is reference to in my game. There isn't a set age group that I'm targeting because I don't want to limit the game to that. I want it to have a variety of players. When looking into online stats and charts about upcoming games, there are no futuristic obstacle course games anywhere. In fact, there are no normal obstacle course games either. With obstacle course games, they're classed as puzzle games, but it's a lot different to most. It's more of how am I going to do this, not what am I going to do, which is games like Zelda, where you have to find everything and then do it. But looking through gamer magazines, there is little to no reference of obstacle course games, maybe other than the odd indie game here and there. So there isn't much competition for other games similar to mine at this stage in time. From this, I want to make a game that is different to everything out there at the moment. So I want people to experience something new. From blog post 2, that helped me a lot with this, as it just made me aware of what I needed and where to put it in each part. With my game, I had to make sure it's a completely non-offensive game. This is to all races, genders, and religions. Every game needs to be aware of ethical considerations. That is one of the most important things, is you can't let a game get a bad reputation. Whilst making the game, I had to make every single piece myself without using music from anywhere online, designs, or anything like that. As this could have drastic legal issues like being sued by whoever made the thing you're stealing. The USP for my game is try something new, experience something you never have before. This is due to the fact that games like mine are very limited, so I want to give people the option to try something new, something different. After doing research into what people want, they don't want the old FPS game which comes out every year. Are there any questions?
Okay, so how is yours? It says on there that it's going to be new and original. How is your game new and original?
Because from the research I've done online, there are no other games that I've been able to find that are similar to mine at all. There's no games that are based on prison sentences that you need to try and escape from, except games like that that I've been able to find at all.
Okay, so are you the prisoner, or are the prisoners a character in the game, or are you the prisoner that's trying to escape?
You're playing as the prisoner that's been found guilty for something he didn't commit, so you're trying to get him to complete the obstacle course so he can go free where he should be.
Does the player have a choice of whether you're male or female in the game, or is it just a him?
At the moment, they don't have that option because I haven't got around to doing that, because there's a few other options, things I need to add in first, but if I have time at the end, I might add that in.
Okay, so where are you at the moment? I know you've gone for a different format of production schedule. Where are you on that schedule?
I'm at the stage where I've almost completed level 1, and I would say I'm about halfway done to completing the game.
Okay, are you confident you'll be meeting that deadline?
Yeah, I 100% will complete it.
Okay.
I was wondering what interactions are you building into your game?
I'm going to add some buttons around the thing which you can press to add to make some obstacles easier or more difficult, depending on because there could be 2 different options buttons to click. One makes it easier, one makes it harder, and you need to click one. So you it's just like a game of chance, really.
Is it also a game of chance with the trick platforms that you mentioned?
No, there's a set thing all the way through. They've already can set which one's a trick.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.